So, I've been using the Truthear Hexa IM, for a while. And what I've got to say is it lacks impact to any of its actual feature. So, like the holes or whatever it is that are attached to the diaphragms, they're either not loud enough or large enough, not loud enough, as in, like they'll actually impart their energy to the, total width of the sound chamber that they're in, releasing into, the IM tip. I use the sildenafils, to help out with seal, and, the wideness of the bore helps too for clarity, I found. So, they're good, I'd agree. I found that they have a massive amount of resistance. Okay, so it's like I have an IFI. I see your amp Canamp that's on the third gain, so it's a high gain at like 11 o'clock position. I'm also hard of hearing, so like results may vary. They're definitely neutral. They really do lack impact, like energy impact. Like it's just there's nothing there until you really get them powered, right? And then it's like, oh, then they'll do something. It's like either the holes that they have in the acrylic or whatever it is that it's made out of aren't big enough, or like have the correct non right angle trajectory to where they're being released, so that way they depart less of their energy into the actual like surrounding material, or they're just not large enough, or it could be both. But other than that, they're very neutral. I like them. I like the bass they have. The bass could be better for what it's worth, but it's not bad bass. It's nice on the brights. The mids are, well, mid highs are pretty dang good. The mids and lower mids are like okay, you know what I mean? They're very neutral tonality wise. They're not very strongly present or forward, but they're not really negative or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I have nothing really bad to say about them, and it hasn't really changed. You know what I mean? Since the entirety of owning them, nothing's bad about them. I just don't really have anything that says, these are this. Go get this. You know what I mean? Like, these are a good solid, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, they're a good solid. That's it. I'll give them a good solid. There's nothing that will wow you about them, which is fine. That's great. They're fairly neutral, for what it is, and I like neutral. So they're not a natural. They're not revealing. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever the source material is, they definitely color it a little bit to be that neutral, which is a weird thing to say, but it's like that's for sure what's going on. And I feel like people, when they write a bad review about these, that's what they're writing the bad review about. Not the bass, not the this, not the that. It's like the fact that it doesn't have the impact, the fact that they have to turn it up so loud for them to get that kind of like actual effect, and that they are coloring whatever the source material is to be neutral. All right. And that's a bit frustrating for some, because it's like, no, this used to have this impact, this used to have this whatever it was that they recorded it as, and it doesn't have that now. And so they don't like how neutral it is. And that's the end of that whole review, truthfully. They're pretty good. I definitely get the sildenafils. If you're going to get these IMs, get some sildenafils. They'll fit over just fine. Make sure to try and find the right sizing pair. You might do well to, modify them yourself by drilling into them a little bit, at the ends of the tips here to try and flare them out, because there's this little tiny sucker. I think that's where like the actual base or something, because there's three. There's three in here, and you might just be able to get away with that. Results may vary. I never touched it. There's brass around the ends there, and I don't have like a drill. It's got a bit that can handle that small of a size, truthfully. So there's that. But it might work, and they're yours. They're $80. Fuck it, modify it. You know what I mean? Like if you got $80 to spend, modify it. Yeah, and that'll probably be just fine. I definitely recommend getting an air filter or an ear wax filter. If you're a person that has a lot of earwax, you should get an earwax filter, for real. Like a little tiny metal piece or something that you can stick there on it, and that might help out with some of the lack of something that you don't like, or maybe too much or something that you don't, especially after if you've modified it. You know what I mean? To widen it up or dig into it a little bit further. You know what I mean? That'll probably help out with it. And then, which I didn't do. So, like, have fun with that. Your results are really going to vary on that one. The sizing, how well you did it, all of that. Be careful. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do it. So there's that. But I'd recommend them for sure. You got to get the sildenafils. Or not sildenafils. Sedena ear fits. Sorry. Sedna ear fits. That's what it was. Sedna ear fits. Sildena. Yes, there's an L randomly instead, but it's Sedna ear fits. From AZLA, AZLA. If you don't know about the Saldena ear fits, then you know what? You're missing out. They're a brand new brand from AZLA called the Sedena ear fits. And they work. They work well with this. I wouldn't recommend the actual original ear tips. They don't sound as good for sure. I almost never use them. I played around with them for like the first couple of days, and then I just didn't even bother. Because they just don't sound good. They don't sound as clear. They don't sound as wide. They don't sound anything like with the ear tips that are from ASLA, the Sedna ear tips, or ear fit tips. That being said, that's the end of this review as my dog continues to try and spear me with his claws and bite me. This bastard.